What's up, everybody? My name is Matt Modi. I'm a content producer and betting analyst for OddsJam. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can use sports betting math to profit betting on sports. So I myself am a math nerd, but to be clear, you don't need to be a math nerd yourself in order to gain value from this video or to understand how you can use math to profit betting on sports. Luckily, the OddsJam software does all of that for you. I'm just going to explain a little bit of the process behind it and how it makes sense and why it's such a profitable tool to use. As you can see, I've been using OddsJam since September, about the second week in September, and I've only ever had green months as an OddsJam user. I haven't yet to have a down month. My lowest number of profit was $343, as you can see on the screen here, but I was traveling for 3 out of the 4 weeks of November, so I wasn't able to bet on sports. Other than that, it's only been green. Even with that, I should say, it's only been green. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how I use OddsJam to profit, how you can use sports betting math, sports betting formulas, and all that good stuff to profit betting on sports. A couple things before I get started. Number one, and most importantly, if you want to learn how to profit $2,500 a month using OddsJam, like these 2 months here, $2,500 of profit a month, what I want you to do is fill out the form you see in the description. So the very first link in the description of the video is going to be a form for you to fill out. We just need a little bit of information about you so we can plan for the call. Once you fill that form out, we'll have a call scheduled with the head of customer success at OddsJam, who'll give you a one-on-one tutorial. It's a live video, you and the head of customer success at OddsJam, and how you can profit $2,500 a month betting on sports. So definitely make sure to fill that form out, get that call scheduled, and start cashing. Would also appreciate it. It would help me specifically a lot if you could like and comment on the video, so I know A, that you liked it, and B, if you comment, provide your feedback, what you liked, what you didn't like. I know what I could tailor these videos towards moving forward. But most importantly, if you could subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. We have a ton of content out for you guys. Some of it are betting picks specific that are profitable. So if you want picks, subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. If you want to learn just general betting advice, betting education, betting tutorials, all that good stuff, subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel because we got that covered for you as well. So the two main things I want you to do, fill out that form, again, to learn how to profit $2,500 a month betting on sports. Also, subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel, and let's get into it. So the first math concept that I want to talk about is the vig or juice in sports betting. So I'm sure most of you watching this video are familiar with what the vig is. If not, let me sum it up for you pretty briefly here. The vig, also known as the juice, is essentially the tax that sportsbooks price the odds themselves in order to make money. So sportsbooks, what they don't do, they don't charge a transaction fee. So you can place as many bets as you want on DraftKings or on FanDuel or Caesars or whatever, and you don't get charged a transaction fee. Instead, sportsbooks just juice up the odds a little bit so they can accept hundreds of thousands of bets for hundreds of millions of dollars on both sides of an outcome, both sides of a game, and they'll profit no matter what based on how the odds are juiced. For example, what I have up here is Caesars Sportsbook, and a normal spread or a normal total is going to be 110 minus 110. Odds are going to be minus 110 each way. So if I bet $100 on the Celtics at minus 110 odds, my risk is going to be $100, as we can see here. My profit is going to be essentially $90, so the total payout will just be my profit plus the cost. So my profit will essentially be this $90 here. But as we see, there's a $10 gap between my profit and the cost. So if another sports bettor bets $100 on the Nets, no matter what, the sportsbook profits $10. So multiply that $10 by a zillion more bets for a zillion and 10 more money, and that's how the sports books make their money. So what it's important to do as a sports bettor is to remove the vig and find out what the true odds of a bet are. So for a standard minus 110 bet, the odds on that are essentially 50-50. So whenever you see a sportsbook price something as minus 110 each way, they're essentially saying they give this bet a 50-50 chance. They don't think one side has the advantage over the other. It's 50-50. For other examples, such as money line, we see minus 105 and minus 115. So let's enter that in, minus 105, minus 115. That puts the true line of this bet at minus 104 and plus 104. So essentially the minus 105 side, the sportsbooks is actually saying, we think this bet has roughly a 49% chance of hitting, just under 49%. On the other side, the minus 104 side, this sportsbook is essentially giving this a 51% chance of hitting. So it's important whenever you're betting to understand what the VIG, what it means, and to remove the VIG to find out what the true odds are associated with a play, and then we can start from there. All right, so now that I've talked about the VIG and removing the VIG to find the true odds, the next thing I want to talk about is the probabilities in sports betting. So as we saw on this no VIG fair odds calculator, essentially all that sportsbooks do when they are pricing odds to a play is they are giving that play a percent chance they think it has to hit. So this was the Brooklyn Nets versus Boston Celtics money line. Basically, Caesar Sportsbook was saying, we think the Celtics have a 49% chance of winning, and we think the Nets have a 51% chance of winning. So whenever you see odds to any bet ever, basically all that sportsbook is doing is they are assigning a probability they think that outcome is going to happen. And I have this spreadsheet here titled Nerd Stuff for someone like myself that I'm going to show you this example and how we can take sportsbooks probabilities of an outcome occurring and use that to find profitable bets to make. But I'm just going to start off using flipping a coin, 50-50 flipping a coin. Let's start off easy. So basically what I'm doing is I'm flipping a coin 2 times. So the percent chance that it's going to be heads both times is basically 50% multiplied by 50%. So if you flip a coin 1 time, there's a 50% chance it's going to be heads. If you flip a coin the next time, there's a 50% chance it's going to be heads. So you multiply those 2 outcomes together, gives a 25% chance of getting heads both times you flip a coin. So if you flip a coin twice, there's a 25% chance that it's going to be heads both times. Now what we want to do for flipping a coin twice, 1 time heads, 1 time tails, you just do the amount of times you're flipping multiplied by, same thing, 50% multiplied by 50%. So this is going to be 50%. Essentially, there's a 50% chance that you're going to get heads once and tails once if you flip a coin twice. And then tails is going to be the same exact thing. So basically, if we flip a coin twice, there's a 25% chance you're going to get heads both times. There's a 50% chance you're going to get 1 heads, 1 tails. And there's a 25% chance you're going to get tails both times, which of course adds up to 100%. So if you're placing a bet, the most likely outcome is that it's going to get heads and tails, right? So if someone says, hey, I'm going to flip a coin twice, what bet are you going to make? Heads twice, heads tails, or tails twice? The logical outcome, the best bet to make would be heads once, tails once. Of course, if that doesn't happen, it doesn't mean that you placed a bad bet. It just means that you got a bad outcome. So variance in sports betting regarding probabilities is extremely important to understand. Just because a bet loses doesn't necessarily make it a bad bet. Again, the most likely outcome is you have heads once and tails once. So if that's what you're betting on, that's a smart bet. You have a 50% chance of that bet winning versus only 25% chance of the other ones. But one thing that OddsJam does, and why I love using OddsJam to profit betting on sports, is they essentially give you a weighted coin to flip. So no longer are you betting 50% chance, 50% chance. They give you a weighted coin, so your probabilities are a little bit higher. And I'll explain that now. So this is what the positive expected value page looks like on OddsJam. This is the concept I'm going to talk about next, positive expected value in sports betting. This is where I make the most money betting on sports. This is OddsJam's bread and butter. This is my bread and butter. So if you aren't currently signed up with OddsJam, fill that form out and you can get signed up that way. B, if you don't quite want to fill out the form, that's totally fine. What you could do is just sign up for a 7-day free trial. Use the concepts that I talk about in this video. Use the concepts talked about in other videos on the OddsJam YouTube channel. Hopefully you've subscribed. If not, please click that subscribe button. And then you'll profit using your 7-day free trial. And then we can get you signed up for the year, signed up for 2 years, signed up for 10 years, whatever you want. It's just an easy way to start. So the OddsJam positive expected value page, what I like to tell people, it's essentially like flipping a weighted coin, but nobody else knows it's weighted except for you. So let me explain. Flipping a coin heads or tails generally is going to be 50-50, right? Well, let's pretend that I actually know that flipping a coin, actually this coin I have, it's a weighted coin. There's a 60% chance it's going to land on heads as opposed to 50%. So with this new information, instead of it being 50-50 heads, it's going to be 60-60 heads. Instead of it being 2 times 50-50, it's going to be 2 times 60 and times 40, because now it's 60-40 as opposed to 50-50. And then the tails, as opposed to it now being 50-50, is going to be 40-40. So now it still adds up to 100%, as we can see. But now we see that landing on heads twice is now 36% chance of hitting, as opposed to the 25%. Getting heads and tails went from 50% down to 48%, and getting tails twice is now going to be 16% as opposed to 25%. So obviously, the most likely scenario is that it's still going to be heads and tails. But now we see that getting heads twice now has a 36% chance of hitting as opposed to 25. So it's an 11% increase from the last time. So if I'm betting with this person flipping the coin, I know that heads has a 60% chance of hitting. I'm going to bet on heads every single time. Of course, there's a 16% chance that flipping that coin twice, I lose both bets, but that doesn't make it a bad bet. And that's essentially what positive expected value betting is. It's essentially flipping a coin with a weighted dice in which you know that your bet has more favorable odds than you're getting it. So I'm betting on something that I know has a 60% chance of hitting, whereas the person that is accepting the bet only thinks it has a 50% chance of hitting. And let's apply it to an actual sporting event. So like I mentioned, this is the OddsJam positive expected value page. The way in which positive EV bets are calculated is OddsJam pulls the perfect line, which is from the sharpest sportsbook in the world. So what you see here under OddsJam is going to be the OddsJam perfect line, like I said, which is pulled from the sharpest sportsbook in the world. Any situation in which we are getting more favorable odds with the VIG removed. So one thing that's important to understand is that it's only giving you a positive expected value opportunity with the VIG removed. Anywhere we're getting more favorable odds on a sportsbook is going to have a positive expected value bet. Is going to be a positive EV bet. So OddsJam perfect line gives this Joel Embiid play under 43.5 points, rebounds, assists. Prices that at minus 145. The other side of it is priced at plus 109. So let's first remove the VIG. So it's plus 109 and minus 145. Puts the true line of this bet at about minus 123, giving that roughly a 55% chance of hitting. Granted, BetMGM, the book that we're betting this on, it only gives this bet, it prices it at minus 105, which is roughly a little bit above a 50% chance of hitting. So we're getting more favorable odds from minus 123 true line to minus 105 on BetMGM, which puts the win probability at roughly above 55% to just above 50%, which makes this a valuable bet to make. So let's go ahead and place it. Let's get on BetMGM and let's place this bet. And here we have it. Joel Embiid under 43.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 105, just like it had on the OddsJam positive expected value page. I know that this bet should really be priced at roughly minus 123, so I know this is a profitable bet. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to bet it. Place bet. and we're good to go. So the Joel Embiid, as much as I love the guy as a Sixers fan, I'm fading him, taking him to go under this bet, which I know is mathematically profitable because I used the OddsJam positive expected value page to find it. I found what the true line of this bet is, what really the percent chance of this bet hitting is based on the OddsJam perfect line, based on the weighted coin. The person I took the bet with, BetMGM, only gave this bet roughly a 50% chance of hitting, so I knew there was value. So now what I need to do, and this is the last math concept to talk about, I need to add it to my bet tracker. So OddsJam offers a bet tracker for completely free, so it doesn't come with a paid subscription or anything like that. It's free of use, and it's incredibly important to understand whether you're profitable or not. So I'm going to enter this bet in, Joel Embiid under 43.5, BetMGM. Those are the odds. That's how much I put on it. Save. And now you see this little check mark here. The bet has been placed. So in order to actually place it, it's very easy. You just click the plus button. And then you go to Bet Tracker. You click bets. And there it is. Joel Embiid under 43.5 points, rebounds, assists. So there's a couple things to note here regarding the OddsJam Bet Tracker. Number one, it tells you whether your bet is red or green in terms of beating the closing line or not. So the closing line are just the no vig fair odds for the bet that you placed. So I know for Joel Embiid, the no vig odds is roughly 123, rounds up to 124. So that's what the CLV will populate here once it populates, which is about every 10 minutes. So obviously odds change as the course of the day goes, whether injuries, where the money comes in, whatever. So not every single bet you place are going to be positive EV. Like here's some red ones down here. But as long as you can beat the closing line more often than not, you'll be profitable. So anything really over 50% is going to be profitable. And anything, the higher, the better, I should say, the more you're going to profit. So me getting it at about over 73%, beating closing line, that's pretty good. That's why I've been able to profit, over 11K using OddsJam. So the bet tracker, it'll tell you, like I said, whether your bet is red or green. So if it's red, you can see about closing it out. So I could go to Bet Rivers and see if they'll let me cash this bet out. And then that way I'm not placing a bet that has unfavorable odds. Another thing I like about it is all these pending bets you see here, OddsJam auto grades those bets for you. So I won't need to go in and mark the bet manually as won or lost. OddsJam will do it for me, which is really nice. So the information that comes from the bet tracker is incredibly important. So pending bets, I just know how much I have for the night. Return on investment is obviously important. You need to understand what your ROI is. So for every $100 I place with OddsJam, I make roughly $8. So you know how much, if you have a goal in mind of how much you want to profit per month. And that's how I would do it on a monthly basis as opposed to weekly, just because of variance. You might get tails twice, like I mentioned. If you know what your ROI is, you know exactly how much money to place per month, as long as you're placing them as mathematically profitable bets. It tells you your profit over time. So I can see that this is by week. I've had obviously much more up than down. And just because I had 2 down weeks in a row, I trusted the process, immediately had an amazing week. You can also have profit by bet type. So I know positive EV betting is much more profitable for me by sportsbooks. So you know what books are good, and then profit by sport as well. So all this information comes from the bet tracker, which is completely free. And that's all I got for you. So hopefully the video made sense, talking about how you can use sports betting math to make money betting on sports. Obviously would appreciate if you could like the video and comment. Of course, subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel for more of this type of stuff. And then, of course, fill out that form, give us some information, and then we can schedule a call and teach you how you can make $2,500 a month betting on sports. But as far as this video goes, that's all I got for you. So thanks for watching and have a good one.